The new Fortnite Simpsons season is here, and every controller player is back to square one. But my setup locks you in. No input lag, no random stick drift, finally pure control. Every shot lands perfectly. Building and editing is on point. So if that's why you're here, let's jump right in. Set your window mode to full screen for lowest input delay. For resolution, set it to your native monitor resolution. Turn VSync off to avoid input lag. Set your FPS limit to match your monitor's refresh rate or below it. Rendering mode is one of the most important decisions you have to make, because it decides whether you have a smooth gaming experience or a bad one. So think of it this way: if you have a high-end PC, go with DirectX 12. You get stable FPS and a really smooth gameplay. And not only that, but your tracking, your aiming, building and editing will be on point. But if your system is mid to low end, you have no choice but performance mode. It reduces the load on GPU and boosts FPS. But the first thing you have to do is set the game to DirectX 12 and then configure all the graphics quality settings. This is super important because these settings have an impact on the game performance even if you switch to performance mode later. And these are the best graphics quality settings. Set quality presets to low. Turn off anti-aliasing and super resolution. Set temporal super resolution to custom and drag the 3D resolution slider all the way up to 100%. All the rest of the settings must be turned off or set to low, except view distance, which is best on Epic. That's because it will show you enemies that are far away from you. Moving on to advanced graphics settings. If you want to see what's your FPS, ping and input latency in real time, here's what you need to do. For FPS, turn on Show FPS. To see your input latency, enable latency markers and then head over to the HUD options and turn on latency debug stats. To see your ping, turn on net debug stats. Now let's switch to performance mode. There is one other super important setting we need to configure. After restarting, you'll notice the graphics quality section is simplified, showing only a few options. One key setting here is build meshes. You can set it either to low or high. High makes it easier to see through builds. You should definitely use this one, even if it costs you a few FPS. Why? Because you will see opponents through your builds, while with low meshes you will not. On the audio settings page, make sure you turn on visualized sound effects. With this enabled, you will get clear visual cues when enemies are nearby. It's crucial for controller players to stay aware. All other audio settings come down to your personal devices and preferences. Here's what mine look like. On communication settings, it's all personal preference. Moving on to game settings page. Set your matchmaking region to the server closest to where you live. On movement, toggle sprint on, auto open doors on, mental activation on hold jump, hurdle activation on press jump. On combat, hold to swap pickup on. This will allow you to swap an item from your inventory with one on the floor. It's super quick, give it a try. I'm sure you will like it. Toggle targeting off. Mark danger when targeting on. Auto pickup weapons on. I use it because I get to pick up items faster than other players, especially when we're both landing on the same chest. It takes some getting used to, but the benefit is you'll always be the first to pick up the items. Swap fire buttons for pump and dump off. Preferred item slots. Except for shotgun, which should always be on first slot, everything else is up to you. This is what I have. Auto sort consumables to the right, on. Reset building choice on. Turbo building on. Editing. Simple edit off. That's because I don't use it. If you want to use it, turn it on. And then in the controller settings page, there's gonna be one super important setting you need to enable. You'll see once we get to that page. Disable pre-edit options on. Auto-confirm edits, both. This is for when you edit and reset your builds. The game can auto-confirm either just one or both of them. I highly recommend you choose both. This way you don't have to press additional buttons, which saves time and free up controller buttons that you can use to bind other settings. Contextual tips off. On extra gaming options, everything is off except tap to search interact. This should be on. On FOV minimum and FOV maximum, I have 60 and 105. Replays. Unless you want to record your replays, turn everything off. On energy saving, turn everything off as well. Moving on to game UI page. Reticle on. Reticle ammo indicator on. Show spread and show recoil first person on. Pull reticle off. Damage numbers cumulative. Reticle damage feedback hit only. And damage number scale all the way up to 125%. HUD options. Everything is on except for creative runtime performance. We're skipping over the next 3 pages for touch and motion settings page, mouse and keyboard controls. Controller settings page. For input, these are the most important settings. Controller auto run off. Build immediately builder pro on. Edit hold time 0.1 second. Simple edit hold time 0.1 seconds. This is for those of you who make use of simple edit. It's going to ensure that your edits are executed in the fastest possible time. Slide hold time 0.09 seconds. Reset camera access both. Reset camera time 0.1 seconds and vibration off. Quick weapon. I've been using quick weapon since it got released in 2023. It's 2 years now. If you really want to be better on controller, you must start using it too. And I promise you will love it. It's going to take time to get used to it, but it's all worth it. If you want to know more about quick weapon, I have a full settings guide. I actually have a few, so feel free to check them on my channel. These are my quick weapon settings. Enable quick weapon, disable show diamond delay, toggle behavior slot 2, instant toggle on, and button group action buttons, which are your face buttons. Sensitivity. Look sensitivity and aim sensitivity, both of them on 1 slope. Build mode sensitivity multiplier on 2.2. Edit mode sensitivity multiplier to 2.3. First person mode on 1.0. To further optimize the sensitivity settings, turn on Use Advanced Options. Look horizontal and vertical speed to 42%. Turn off all related boost settings. For ADS, horizontal and vertical speed, both of them on 8%. Turn off again all boost related settings. Scope speed multiplier on 0.8. Look dampening time on 0.0 seconds. Look input curve linear. Precision and tracking aim assist strength 100%. For dead zone, this all depends on how used your controller is. Mine feel good on 10%. Feel free to lower it if you have a newer controller, or keep it around 10% if your controller is used. Left and right trigger release both on 25%. Turn off foot controller if you don't use one, and turn on accelerate with stick for when you drive vehicles. Controller mapping. For controller platform, I use PS5. That's because I play on a PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge controller with 2 pedals, and I also play claw with my left hand. But if you're an Xbox, you can change the controller platform to Xbox. For movement, I crouch with down on the D-pad, which I have bind to my right pedal. I sprint with triangle, and I jump with R3. On general settings, I reload with square. I toggle my pickaxe with up on the D-pad, and I have quick weapon bind set to R1, which is how I enable quick weapon. This is related to the settings we were talking about here in the controller settings page. For weapons, my primary weapon is on R2 and my secondary weapon is on L2. For targeting, toggle scope mode up on the D-pad. For building, I sprint with triangle, I change materials with down on the D-pad, I trap equip with square, I place walls with R2, floor with R1, stairs with L2, and roof with L1. I switch mode with left on the D-pad. Well, actually, this is what I have bind to my left pedal, so I don't necessarily press the left on the D-pad, instead I use the pedal. And then I have quick weapon on L3. This doesn't require for you to have quick weapon enabled in the settings. What this bind actually does is that, let's imagine if you have your builds out and you realize you have to quickly switch to your shotgun, you can just press L3 and that's gonna switch it instantly. You don't have to cancel builds and then find your shotgun. No, you're in build mode, you press L3 and that's it, you're on your shotgun. For edits, I select with R2, reset with L1, and I edit the builds with left on the D-pad, which is actually what I do playing Claw. In edit mode, just like in building, you can bind the quick weapon bind to L3 and you're gonna have the exact same behavior. And then this is how I toggle my map, my inventory with circle, I zoom in and zoom out with R2, L2, and that's about it. I guess the rest of the settings I will just scroll through. But most of them are for cars, when you fly, and that's all depending on what season we are and what kind of vehicles and other abilities are provided. And that's it.